Welcome back, everybody, to another episode on the old podcast. Today, we got Alyx with me. Alyx, what is going on?
Not much, brother. Just hanging out. Excited for the guest today.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I guess we'll just jump right into it. We have Hawkins Walcott with us today with Primm Springs Wildlife Company.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
How the heck are you? Jeez, Pete, I sound nervous now.
What was that you cut out on me just
I said, how the heck are you doing today?
I'm good. Just hanging out. You know, we're rested up after the season. Had a little bit of time off to breathe and take everything in. So it's been good.
So what do you do? Who are you? So people know before we jump into these questions that I have so many for you. Just kind of explain who you are.
So I am the son of the owner of Primm Springs Wildlife Company. I am a senior guide. I run the social media, and I'm also a wildlife manager here back at home in Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
So Dad's been doing both of those things, guiding and management, for 30 years now. Got a lot of experience, got a lot of really good experience in a lot of areas, and I'm learning a lot from him through that. So it's pretty cool to be involved really deeply in the family business and learning directly from my dad, who learned from himself. So
you grew up in Tennessee?
Yes. I grew up and actually live in Tennessee the rest of the year, and we go to Arkansas to do the waterfowl outfitting during the wintertime.
Wow,
so
okay.
I'm back in Tennessee right now and won't be back in Arkansas until probably late October.
What kind of made your dad, obviously, with Arkansas being such a big, duck, just it's the duck capital of the world. What made your dad just kind of pick there instead of any other state?
Well, he had family over there was the reason that he had roots there. He started, I think, when he was 17, going over there pretty regularly, hunting around, visiting the family, working on the family farm during the summer. And then that kind of led into him obviously wanting to go back more and more to hunt, because that's the greatest place to waterfowl hunt in the southern United States. So he started there and snowballed to where we're at today. So
that's what when Alyx came back, I was talking to him a little bit, and it seemed like every time I talked to Alyx about Arkansas, his face just lit up, and there was just story after story about going down there with you guys, and completely jealous of Alyx because I've never been able to travel that far south for hunting.
Right.
But I've also been told lately it's been kind of getting tough down there a little bit.
It has been getting a little bit tougher in the last few years, from what I've noticed. On the duck side, the geese have really carried us. They've honestly, it's been the trade-off that we never knew that we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We always wanted to chase the ducks, but the specks have honestly become a staple, and we all love them. There's nothing like a big spin of speckle bellies. It's awesome. I love them.
What kind of made your dad want to start an outfitter?
Well,
I know that's talking to you, not your
It's actually
dad,
kind of a funny story. The reason that all of this started. So Dad and James hunted around in Tennessee for a long time. That's where they met and cut their teeth waterfowl hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Land Between the Lakes is where they were, which is between Kentucky Lake and Barkley on the Tennessee River chain. It's actually a very good waterfowl area. It's just got a lot of pressure now, so it's not as good as it was at that time.
Right.
But they were working all summer, built this really nice blind. Season rolls around, they get everything brushed up, invite all their buddies out there, and the first morning of the season, it's raining cats and dogs. And Dad looked at James. They were both standing outside the blind because their blind was full of their buddies. And Dad told James, he said, somebody's fixing to start paying us for this shit. And the next year it took off, and they never looked back. So
that's crazy. Just to kind of see, like, I don't know, for you especially, to see the history behind it all. It's got to be kind of a
Oh yeah,
cool thing to just kind of keep that tradition going or keep that company moving on.
yeah, yeah. It's really cool.
What
There's honestly nothing better than working with him. It's special.
what was it like growing up with like the outfitter dad, like just going out to a different state every year and running all these clients? I mean, what kind of was that? Well, like what was that for you when you were younger? How was that for you when you were
Well,
younger?
honestly, whenever I was younger, it meant for me a lot of not going hunting. I had my days that I was able to go, but Dad was busy running clients.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I was able to go, I absolutely 100% was his sole focus. I would shoot first. I would do everything with him, but he had guys. So I had to kind of take a backseat role for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of set me up for learning more about the way guiding actually works. And I want to save that for a little bit later and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it it was, I always wanted to go and I couldn't. So it was different.
Give you that
And I
urge.
never got to buddy hunt much growing up. I was always a guide, and I don't hate that at all. It's set me up in so many ways for success later in my life, but I didn't have some of those luxuries that some other people do, hunting around with friends or having a buddy that's got a private spot or having their own private spot, something like that. So
That's got to be tough though, because I mean that's not exactly how me and Alex met. We met waiting for the pisser at a bar one night, and he came back into town this year. I think it was right after the hunt, right, Alex?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it was what?
Right after we got home from Tennessee with JB.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that was our first hunt together, and it kind of had to been a hard thing for you without buddy hunting and not getting that kind of, I don't know, vision of it compared to just guiding. But
right.
I mean, that's got to be kind of a tough thing to, I guess, balance in a way. You know, you got your friends from school or whatever growing up that want to go hunting, but I don't know, it's different.
Yeah, it definitely is a different situation, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've seen so many amazing things being in those situations hunting wise, and I mean honestly, I'm blessed to be in the situation that I'm in. A lot of people may think that that's kind of crazy, but the way that I see it, I just feel very blessed to be.
For sure. And you shouldn't feel any other way besides that. That's for sure.
I mean, honestly, that's true.
That's yeah, I don't know. So you kind of mentioned before too, you know, they started guiding down there. What was the story that you were telling me and Fonz about the hotel? No.
Yeah. So the first year that they were over there, we didn't have a lodge or anything like that. You know, nowhere to really stay, just a couple of farms and not very many guys. So Dad and James, they hooked up a deal with the hotel up there at the interstate in Carlisle, and that's where they put their guys for the year. So it's kind of funny that they were eating in the restaurants and staying in the hotel up there by the interstate now, and everybody just rolls on by and comes home. So
what did you guys have down there now? You guys got a full lodge, you know, dinners being made.
Yeah.
You guys got all of that?
Yeah, we've got a full lodge. We can sleep 42 people comfortably. Large commercial kitchen. We cook for everybody, all their meals every single day. Bird processing. We've got a skeet shooting 5-stand out back. So there's really not any downtime in the afternoons. 30-foot wet bar, game room, multiple flat screen TVs. I think there's 4 or 5 phones.
Yeah, there's about 5.
So yeah, it's the setup. It's a really nice place.
Kyle, you should see it. It's class A, man. There's no other way to put it. I mean, and the guys that go there, that have been going there, like Joey and those guys, hawk for like 20 years or however long it has been. They're so loyal to going back there, and Dude, I was asking him the other day. It's actually so comfortable there. I was asking Hawk the other day. I was like, "Hey, man, can you like go to my old room and lift up the sheet and see what the mattress is?" I go, "That was the most comfortable mattress I've ever slept on in my life." Yeah, I mean, the meal's outstanding. I forget the cook's. What's his name again?
Dalton.
That's right. Oh my God, phenomenal. I mean, we're eating prime rib, lamb, you name it, steak. It's not just sloppy joes on the plate, you know.
Yeah, some SpaghettiOs and ramen noodles ready for you every single night over there.
Right. No, it's
they heated them up in the can.
Yeah. That's crazy though, man. That's got to be. I mean, especially from like jumping guys into a hotel to start it all off with, and then to see where you guys are now. I mean, that's insane, especially in the area that you are.
It really is. And to have seen it come full circle myself in my lifetime is something that's even crazier to think about.
Now, what are you guys? What's the hunt look like around there? I mean, are you guys hunting water, fields? I mean, I know you went mostly geese. You said now.
So that really depends on the day. I say we're mostly geese. We were mostly geese last year. We do have a lot of duck ground, a lot of very storied duck ground that we just didn't get birds on, obviously, because of the situation that was going on this year early on. But what we'll typically do is wake the guys up around 4:30. You'll have a full breakfast on that morning.
You got to wake them up?
Sausage, bacon, biscuits, eggs, gravy, the whole nine. You'll roll out and go hunting. We'll usually sit in A-frames, big full body spreads, and a lot of calling, lots of fun, just trying to get where the birds want to be.
I mean, you think of Arkansas too. Oh, let me go backtrack here. You guys got to wake them up in the morning?
No. Well, yes, Dad goes and makes sure everybody's awake if he's not going hunting or anything like that. And then, so, breakfast is going, all that stuff. The boss is up, making sure everybody's happy and awake and everything's running smooth. And
that's got to be almost a top 10 dangerous jobs in the world. Because I know some guys that wake up in the morning crabbier than all get out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you hear Arkansas and you think flooded timber, right?
Right.
You guys have spots like that as well, or no?
Yeah, we do. We do have some woods. The problem with our woods, though, is we have to get the water first. We don't have a way to pump into them.
Gotcha.
So once the bio gets out, our woods are right on biometa. We killed ducks in the woods late in the season this year once the bio finally got out. But we only had water in there for about 3 days. So
go ahead.
I mean, we say we have timber, but it's very limited. So most of our hunting's fields, natural little swamps, the swamps and sloughs, stuff like that.
Are you guys doing like rice fields, or like what kind of fields are you hunting out of?
Oh yeah, rice, beans, corn. We do plant some millet and flood those up as well. That's really most of the crops. We have some fish ponds that we hunt as well. Shiners, like you'd go fishing with.
Right.
We'll go shoot a lot of divers up there. That's a lot of fun. So we're pretty variable in our habitats. We got a lot of different bases covered. So we can be successful in a lot of different circumstances and conditions.
I mean, that's got to be a huge thing for you too, to keep growing outwards with the competition around you guys. I mean, I guess I don't know the competition around you guys, but it sounds like every corner there's an outfitter down in Arkansas. But I mean, it's what's the process of expanding without stepping on people's toes? And I mean, it's all leased ground, correct?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's all leased ground down there. There's not really very much freelancing that goes on. There is a little bit of it, but down there in the Stuttgart area, you're hunting the Beverly Hills. So, I mean, there's not just going to be a house to move into on Rodeo Drive every day.
Right.
So you gotta kind of just play the market and see when a farm around you comes open, and hopefully you can get it. It's a cutthroat game over there. People will step on your toes without a doubt.
That's a big thing too.
It's changed a lot.
I always hear that too. I mean, with how crazy it is down there, and especially with the like just the state land, I guess, with the out of staters. You guys deal with a lot of that around you?
No, we don't really deal with much of that just because we can't guide on public ground.
Right.
But there are guys, we know a lot of local guys around there that say that whenever the non-residents are allowed on WMAs, there's not a tree that somebody's not standing behind. It's just, the word has gotten out about Arkansas. Not that it wasn't for years, but with the popularity of duck hunting on the rise, I think it's just overpressured to a point.
Which for you guys, I mean, that's a good thing that more and more people are getting into it. That's for sure.
Yes, it is. And that's our thing, is that we're not taking somebody based on their skill level. So we'll take anybody that, if you've never hunted before, up to the most seasoned waterfowler. That's the joy or the beauty of some of it, is we get to teach people how to do or what to do in certain situations to help them be successful at home if they do choose to go hunt or whatever it is they choose to do.
And how is your guys' the books looking? I mean, are you guys pretty full every year with like?
We're pretty full as of right now. We have a lot of repeat clients, like Fonzie was saying earlier. Those guys come. A lot of them have been coming since year one.
That's awesome. So,
they get their first right on their dates, and then after that, we'll open up the books to everybody else. So we'll be about 85% booked whenever we actually open up.
I mean, to see those guys come back year after year after year, I mean, obviously you're doing something right if they're doing that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's awesome. Some of the connections that we've made, it's just, some of those guys are family at this point. Right. I mean, no, we've watched their kids grow up. They've watched me grow up. We've hunted great days. We've hunted terrible days. We've shared a lot of laughs, cried together. I mean, it's really a great thing whenever a client becomes one of your close friends. And a lot of people don't understand that about the industry that we're in, is that you actually become close with everybody that you hunt with and a lot of the guys that you meet. Whereas in a lot of other industries, you don't necessarily get that because business is just business.
Right.
So it's really cool to see those guys year in and year out.
How is that with, I mean, you guys deal with a lot of headache with some clients, some new clients coming in, because there's got to be a point where you almost can pick and choose who's coming and who's not able to book for the year.
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a headache over anything. It's just, I mean, deposits roll in, and whenever your deposit rolls in, if you can't get it in on time, then it just is what it is. I mean,
even just for the person in general. I mean, there's got to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. There's,
I guess
that.
You know,
yeah,
it's that's got to be a thing that's looked on, I guess, in the I don't know, industry. I don't know. But what was my next question? I just drew a blank right there.
You're good.
What's I was thinking too, with the Arkansas area, has social media impacted you guys at all in a good or bad way?
I would say that it's had an impact on us. Obviously the spotlight that gets put on Arkansas helps, but a lot of our bookings are not coming directly through social media and the postings that we make. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's helped or hurt. I'm just kind of indifferent on the whole social media thing at this point. That could change tomorrow, but
and you run
as
the
right
social,
now,
right?
What was that? You cut out.
You run your social media?
I do.
So I mean, I'll tell you what, because even running our social media, which Trav helps me out and stuff too, but it's almost like another job at that point.
It is another full-time job. And I mean, that's something that I didn't realize whenever I started kind of dabbling off into our social medias, was that was going to take up a lot more time than I thought it was. And getting, creators lined up to come down and shoot, Brandon being one, knows Fonzie and Lance. Mason Giannakis is another kid that comes down and shoots some videos for us. Ethan Horner. I mean, they got to get them lined up and get them down. So that stuff helps, but it's just more about connections. I think personal connections.
That's for sure. That's for sure. I mean, it's a huge thing with like, I get asked all the time on people like coming on the podcast and stuff. And it's just, it's a communication. It's a ladder. You one person knows this person and you just keep on going with it with photography or whatever it may be. And that's the hard part for us, where that's what I need a lot more of is photography.
Right.
Especially this coming turkey season. Because Fonz told me that you guys shoot migra as well.
Yes, we do.
So excited about their new turkey load this year.
I actually have not got my hands on any yet. I really want to shoot some, though. I bet they're a nasty shell.
Well, if it's anything like the waterfall shell, it's going to be good. That's for sure.
That's no kidding.
That's for sure. And people don't realize that until they actually put that in their gun and pull the trigger.
Exactly. And I've transitioned to several of the guides in the last couple of years over to migras, or those upper end steel shot loads, away from, the cheaper stuff. And it absolutely makes a difference.
Oh,
and when they're close, it doesn't matter. I mean, we all know that.
Right.
But the birds that are at a distance, getting out 40, 50, maybe even a 60-yard shot on your third shot, it's crippled and it might fly off, but you can go ahead and finish that bird off and get it in the pile.
Right.
It's very helpful, especially in our situation when we're trying to kill birds and get out so they can rest and we're not beating on them all day. So it makes a huge difference.
That's yeah, I don't know. It's almost like beating a dead horse. You could say all you want to somebody, they won't understand it until you actually pull the trigger.
Exactly.
And I'm glad I'm talking to somebody that understands.
With the science that everybody's putting out today with the ballistics and everything, it's like, why not try it? I mean, the proof's in the pudding at this point.
And here's the thing, in my opinion, a lot of guys up here like to shoot the 10 gauge. And
right, shooting big geese.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time with the shells nowadays, your 12 gauge is almost like a 10 gauge, and you can go to 20 gauge and shoot geese and ducks pretty much year round with how good these shells are becoming.
Right.
I mean,
right.
It's nuts.
It's crazy. Once you get your gun patterned out, I think that's something that a lot of people skip out on, is they just buy this shell that's supposed to be the magic bullet, and it's not, because your gun doesn't like it. You've got to go through some different shells and see what your gun actually wants to pattern. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. How many guides do you guys have down there?
We have about 10 guides that we keep around from October to around Valentine's Day. We'll run 4 to 5 groups a day, depending on what's going on. One big group of goose hunters, so that'll be several guides, and then everybody else will split off and do the duck thing or whatever it is that they need to do on that day. So
I got you.
It's pretty cool to watch everybody work together and go their separate ways in the morning and all come back and be happy for each other in the afternoon whenever we all had successful hunts. So,
and then how do you guys pick and choose? Like, is there like a apprentice program for your guides coming in?
Yeah, a little bit. They're definitely pre-selected. Guys that we know, local guys around there, just people that we've hunted with in the past that are good hunters that may be interested in doing it. There's a pretty extensive vetting process, and it's a pretty extensive apprenticeship too. I mean, you probably won't be running your own groups for 3 years, right. 2 to 3 years.
Right. Now, for somebody,
there's a lot to learn about it.
Somebody getting into something like that or curious about something like that, what is like the steps to becoming like an apprentice? Just reaching out to you guys on social media, or like how does somebody start?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we've hired guys that have reached out to us on social media, just coming into work with a can-do attitude. I don't care if you can blow a goose call. I don't care if you can blow a duck call, but will you work hard, and are you willing to learn? That's what the biggest thing is. I mean, I can teach you everything that you need to know, but are you willing to learn that? That's something a lot of people don't understand, is they get set in their ways about hunting and they think they know, but in reality, none of us know everything, and we're not all right every day. So you just got to kind of take a step back and swallow your pride and learn what the person that you're wanting to work for, how they want it done.
Because that's a thing where me and Fonz always talk about too, like the want, obviously, from people, even if you're just buddy hunting or whatever it may be. But that's a big step as well for the podcast, for me and the listeners to go out and, you know, talk to guys like you, or talk to guys north of us, or wherever it may be. There's different techniques and ways of hunting, and it's not just your way. There's so many different varieties of ways to get on the birds, or, you know, just everything in general.
Yes, just making it happen.
Right.
What Kyle, me and Lance, like, we got a taste of that when we were down there too. Like, the first thing I told those Hawk and those boys was like, yo, put us to work. Like, whatever you need us to do in the morning, you just let us know. And we just rolled around with them all weekend and just helped the best we could. And let me tell you, man, you hang around these types of guys that do this for a living, like, just for 5-6 days that we were down there, we learned so much. And that is another thing. Like, you do have to put your pride aside in the way that you grew up hunting to be able to retain information from guys like Hawk that know a shit ton more, and just they're doing it every day. And yeah, we learned a ton, and yeah, it was awesome, man.
I mean,
I think, was it the first morning that we got put to work with my Ranger not wanting to do right?
Yeah, that was it. That was that morning. Yep.
It did that like 2 more times throughout the season. I was like, guys, it's going to be okay. This Ranger's going to fire right back up and be just fine here in a minute.
We just had to get her rolling a little bit. We just had to give her a little push.
I was going to say, let me hear the story on that one.
So we were going in one morning. Zach got stuck, and I had a load of guys and a load of stuff on my Ranger. So I was going to go drop that off and go back and help Zach get out. Well, I get down there, drop everything, go to turn around, and I'm sitting on a levee. How wide would you say that levee was? About 7-8 yards wide?
Oh, yeah. It was no more than like 7 yards.
I mean, not very big. I've got a crew cab Ranger caddy cornered on this thing, and then all of a sudden it just dies and won't go anywhere. We've got a stuck trailer, stuck four-wheeler, 5 people, half the decoys, all the blinds, everything's back there. So whatever, I'm cussing and spitting and carrying on at this Ranger, and cut it off and cut it back on about 10 minutes later and rolled on. But it was interesting there for a minute to see what that was all about. But that's another thing. You just got to roll with the punches. I mean, just every day is going to have a new challenge. You just got to figure out what that challenge is and how you're going to combat it.
That's the thing I was going to talk to you about too, is like just the ups and downs. Like in the morning, everybody's got problems in the morning, you know, but everybody doesn't have paying clients with you in the morning. That's got to be such a stressful thing for you guys to make sure that you're giving the clients everything that they want and expect out of a hunt, when you can't control a lot of the stuff.
I mean, yeah, you're not going to control the weather and the birds, and obviously that's 2 of the main factors in the whole deal. So you just gotta play the game and see what they want on that day. It's a blessing for us to be able to hunt a lot of days, so we see days like that and learn the little nuances of what they may or may not want to see.
Right.
But it is very stressful whenever we're not killing birds, just sitting there looking at the sky. I mean, I want those guys to kill birds. At the end of the day, that's my job, is to get them a pile. And when we're not doing that, I'm not happy, ultimately. So it's just, you got to roll with it. You got to see what they want.
And it's about that group. I feel like with the group of guys that you have out there, I mean, a lot of those guys have to understand that, you know, I'm not putting you here for no reason. I'm putting you here because this is the spot to be at. But Mother Nature, everybody knows how she is.
All the guys are usually very understanding about everything. I mean, they know we can't control that. And most of those guys have hunted in some extent to the past, so they know kind of what to expect and how everything should go or shouldn't go based on the weather. And they're very understanding. They know it's never really our fault.
That's good then. I mean, it makes it a lot easier for you.
Oh yeah, I mean it's never easy on us because we beat ourselves up. What could we have done differently? But most of the time on days like that, we tried everything that we thought we could try and make successful. So I mean, it's just part of it. You're going to have slow days and days that the birds don't want to play. Everybody knows that. So just got to roll with the punches.
What kind of spreads you guys running down there? You said full-bodied geese. I mean, you guys run a lot of spinners for ducks, or what?
We hadn't the last several years, and this year we started running some again, the spinners, and it seemed to help. But yeah, we run a lot of full body spreads for geese. Most days are all full bodies. We will mix in some dive bomb socks and silhouettes as well, just to bulk everything up. Or if we got somewhere that's really hard to get into, we're gonna have to carry decoys out, and the conditions will allow for it. But a typical duck spread's usually just a floater spread of about 3 to 5 dozen, and a couple spinners, couple pulsators, couple swimmers.
And I feel like it's got to be kind of the same aspect for you as us up here. I mean, you're trying to be different from everybody else hunting around you. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys down there that are just using socks every day, or just the bare minimum or the easiest thing that they could do.
Right.
And I try to tell people that all the time, even just throwing coot decoys out there being different. I mean, that's huge. There's just a confidence level for birds.
Oh yeah. I mean, being different is the biggest thing that I've noticed. You can go set up, anybody's got 5 dozen dive bombs anymore. They can go set that bag of silhouettes up and shoot some geese. But if you want to shoot the pile, you've got to put in a little bit more work and go a little bit harder to make it happen. You can do it over 5 dozen silhouettes on a given day, but it's not going to be every day. So you just got to play with it, see what they want.
What's your opinion on silhouettes? Because me personally, I'm not a big fan, and that's just me.
It depends, like I've been saying, depends on the conditions. I mean, if it's in the sun, I do like them. If it's cloudy, I don't want to put them out at all. I think the shadow that they cast is a much bigger deal than people think. Because if you throw a drone up after you get done hunting and look down on top of them, you can't see those decoys on a cloudy day, really. But that shadow casting helps so much. At least in my opinion, I think that's what it is.
So let me ask you this, because I've been meaning to ask one of my friends about this. There's a decoy company. It's called Top Down Decoys. And this isn't advertisement thing.
Yeah.
But do you think if you mix those in with silhouettes, your silhouette spreads would be more like realistic per se?
I do. I think that I also think that part of the problem with silhouettes is the motion or the lack thereof. Yeah, it gives that appearance that they're moving, but they get keen to that stuff pretty quick, especially if everybody around's running them. They get shot at over them a few times. Right. So we mix in more full bodies and socks whenever it's silhouettes, but that's just to add some of that 3-dimensional aspect to the spread.
I gotcha. And for you guys there, is everybody shooting, like, is everybody going after that one roost and just watching the birds get up out of that roost and, hoping that they come your direction that day? Or is there like multiple roosts of hundreds and hundreds of birds?
Usually it's multiple roosts around, or if it's one big roost, there's multiple feeds, so they'll bust off of it and go different directions. But where we're at, we're pretty blessed to at least up a very good chunk of ground that's not very pressured around it. So we can kind of play with those birds based off of obviously where we've been seeing them and what they're doing. But yeah, I think that the pressure around some places on those bigger roosts played a role in moving the birds without a doubt, especially early in the year when there's not a lot of water.
Right. That's kind of where we're at up here is, got a certain area locked down, and it's nice because I get to choose, how pressured those birds actually get and try to keep them there as long as I possibly can and not hunt them every single day. And, there's a science behind it. People call me crazy about it all the time, but there's a science behind why we're hunting here and not over there today. There's a reason behind it all.
Yes, there is a method to the madness, without a doubt.
Exactly.
And Stewart's taught me that. If he hasn't taught me anything else, is you have got to let them rest and sit and do what they want to do. Don't go to pushing them around. That's when they move. And
especially even just like decoy spreads, switch it up once in a while. For us, like, when Fonz came out and hunted with us, I think we ran 2 dozen. The day before, we're running 4 or 5 dozen, 8 dozen, 9 dozen, whatever it may be. I mean, you can't just do the same thing every single day.
Right. Yeah. You got to change it up and be variable. Like some days we'll run straight specs. Some days we'll mix in snows with them. Other days we'll be running a combo hunt when we'll have snow specs and ducks and spinners and the whole nine. It'll look like a circus out there. But just being able to change up and the equipment to do so is a lot of people's problem, I think. And I completely understand that. I mean, a lot of guys are balling on a budget,
right?
Trying to make it work with what they've got. So, I mean, obviously go hunt with what you have.
100%.
Maybe take some decoys out of that or something. I mean, there's ways to change it without spending money.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more on that. Fonz, you got any questions here? I'm kind of been
no, but what I was gonna say is like there's like it's no thing down there to see 2,000-3,000 snow geese just circling a field or like 500-600. I mean, there's so many birds down there. It's not even funny. I mean,
heck, we got under a couple of good spec spins that day.
Dude, that best. There's nothing better than those specs turning at 200 yards out, and you see that they're cupped up from literally that far out, just gonna dive bomb in. Oh man, there's no feeling like it.
That's just a different world.
I don't think anything works like a speckle belly.
Really?
I honestly think that. I think they respond to a call better than any other waterfowl.
Huh. It's hard for me to say
I don't know
like
why.
judge. I've never shot one before. I mean, we don't have them up here, obviously, but that's crazy to hear.
That's my personal opinion. There will be people that agree or that disagree with that.
Right.
But, I mean, Fonzie saw it. They're pretty responsive to a call.
Oh, yeah. There was times where these guys spun like a 30-pack, man. And the minute they heard, like, Zach is so good on that spec call. Not saying no one else is good, but Zach is one of their guys.
Zach's next level for sure.
He's phenomenal, dude. And we hunted with him one morning, and he turned a group of 30, like, the minute they heard him start to call. Threw a couple remedies together, and, yeah, they're very, very responsive birds.
That's nuts. I mean, even, like, the birds that you guys got when you were down there, Fonz, I mean, absolute stud birds, it seemed like. Every bird, obviously every hunt's not that way, but you guys killed some absolute studs on that, and the hunts that you were on down there. And some dream birds for me up here.
Yeah. Like, I remember, I think it was the first or second hunt. A widgeon came buzzing by. I didn't know it was a widgeon at first, but it came buzzing by, and I think I was the only one that stood up and shot. So it was a true, what do you guys call that, Hawks? Like a true bird? You guys call it when a client shoots, just stands up and shoots, and it's just the one single shot? Isn't there a word for it or no?
I don't have a word for it.
Oh, okay.
He just stood
anyway,
up.
I was so pumped, man. I shot that widge, and it was almost a stud, Hawk? It just wasn't fully there.
Oh, yeah, it was a good bird. Did you wind up mounting that one?
No, I didn't. I wanted the white to go a little bit down the back of the head more.
I gotcha.
Yeah, but every bird we were shooting there was quality. There's a couple double sprigs. I shot a ginormous sprig. Yeah, it was phenomenal. Every type of bird you could think of for the most part.
That's just it's like just a different world. I mean, we get a couple of those birds trickled in up here. We just, it's very far and few between. It's especially
Right,
for like
yeah.
speckle bellies too, with how far they travel from, Alaska, Russia, wherever it's at. It's insane when you get a band off of one of them things.
Yeah, it's wild. I've got a couple spec bands. We haven't killed one in the last few years, but we've killed them from Nunavut, killed them from Alaska. I want to say that we killed one from the Northwest Territories or something like that, but that may or may not be a lie. It could have been a snow goose.
That sounds
But
good.
yeah,
Either
it's
way.
really cool to see where they come from, and especially the tracker data that's been coming out. That stuff really intrigues me.
Yeah, for sure. I've been kind of trying to follow on some mallards. You know what else intrigues me too is those over in not kind of. I mean, it's within the banding, but the Japan birds that have been shot in California over the last couple of years.
Yes, yeah, that's wild.
That's insane to just even think about that.
Yeah, that's wild. I saw a snow goose that got killed in New York the other day. I think it was killed in Greenland. Is that the one that's just there east of Canada?
Oh God.
Yeah.
There's Greenland and Iceland, the big one that's just east of Canada. I can't remember which one it is right off the top of my head, but there was a snow goose band killed from there with their government.
Holy shit.
That's just nuts to even think about. I mean, to be able to harvest a bird like that, that's nuts.
I mean, for that, the statistical probability for that bird to even make it to your area,
you have a better chance of winning the lottery.
So low.
Yeah.
And how many do you think are like that we've killed that aren't banded that we have no idea?
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of brings up a good point where, people go crazy over bands. Obviously, bands is a huge problem, I guess you want to say. I'll say problem because people are so cutthroat on bands, and I there's tons of stories up here that me and Fonzie both know about the people doing some real shady stuff around us.
Right.
That's what I want out of the bands. I don't want the bands that are right in my backyard that I'm watching every single day, and I'm going to go out there and shoot them and put them on my lanyard. I want the birds that are way out there, and just to think about, how many spreads has this bird seen? How many times has this bird been shot at? The
what
history.
actually has this bird seen in its life?
Right. I mean, we're shooting birds, not as far as what we were just talking about, but 1,200 miles away, and just that alone, people just don't give enough credit for these migratory birds.
Oh yeah, and that's just in one given fall flight.
Right.
We've killed greenhead bands that were 16 years old.
Right, exactly.
So think about that. I mean, how many spreads and calls? I mean, it's just mind-boggling, honestly.
What is the craziest band or you guys ever shoot tarsals or net collars or anything?
Not recently. It's been a long time. One of my buddies who runs another outfit down the road, Luke Dixon with Spec Inc. He shot a tracker this past year, banded in 2017, I believe, and that had some pretty cool data. But other than that, no, it's mostly just leg bands. We killed a double banded greenhead a couple years ago, but probably the oldest one was that 16-year-old greenhead that we killed, 2006, I believe. I was laying in Dad's lap when he shot it.
That double band, was it just a money band or what was that? Was it Jack Miner?
Yeah, it was a $100 reward band from somewhere in far north Minnesota. I can't remember the exact town right off the top of my head.
Wow. That's nuts. Just to say, I mean, like you said, just to see the history on that bird, or just to even see to think what he has seen is nuts. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And that double banded bird that we shot last year was his 5th flight with those bands. So, I mean, how much has he even seen in that time? And he was a mature bird when he was banded. It's insane. Yeah. For you to actually kill one it's a wonder that we actually can. And I'm glad that ducks don't shoot back.
Yeah, I'm telling you that is very true. Very true. That's do you guys run dogs down there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've all got dogs.
Voodoo.
Miss Voodoo. Yeah, she's laying here right now on the couch looking at me saying, "Where's my chicken strip, dude?"
That's what you guys training them yourself? You guys sending them out, or what's going on with that?
So a lot of them are trained outside. We don't do any of that. We had a guy that worked for Dad for several years. His name's Michael Oldfield. He ran Mossy Creek Retrievers. He has since retired from the dog training side of things. But that's where Voodoo and Sage, Tank, Chester, that's where I believe 4 of the 6 guide dogs came from.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty good kennel that he had there for a while.
Is there a lot of clients that come in there and want to bring dogs?
Yeah, a lot of guys do bring their dogs, and I mean, I completely get it. I wouldn't want to go hunting without my dog either. I mean, it's one of those things. Ultimately it's their hunt at the end of the day. If they want to run their dog, I'm completely fine with letting them run their dog. If that's what they want to do. If they want to sit back and shoot and let me run my dog, that's fine too. And just whatever they want to do.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing about their outfit too, is how like when he tells you that a lot of these guys are like family, they're like family there. So it's a lot of personal, tight trust relationships. And I think I would say for the most part, from what I saw, the guys that do bring their dogs are pretty good for the most part.
Yeah.
So
yeah, usually they're pretty solid dogs.
Now, Fonz, was it Hawk and those guys down there who was just like blindfolding the dogs for scent?
That was JB told me a story about that. He's a guide there at Primm. Him and Hawk are fraternity brothers. But no, that was JB telling me that story.
Okay.
But no, Hawk and these guys, yeah, Hawk, give them the lowdown on the scent, man. Because if you remember me telling you, like, that was the first time I'd ever heard of guys training their dog that way. Up here, the way I've always been taught, and the kennels that some of the lead guys at the kennels I know, that, I mean, they're all about marking birds and sight and having them go out after eyes. So Hawk, take it away, man. I think that is so fascinating too, that the way you guys do that.
I mean, yeah, just running the dogs and having the dog trust you ultimately, I think is what it is. They know what they're going out there to look for, and they know they're looking for fresh scent. And that's something I think that your dog maybe ran into a little bit, Fonzie, was she was hitting some of that old scent from birds actually sitting out in those fields. So it's a little different.
Yeah, she I think it was that last hunt we went on when it was a freaking banger of a hunt. I think it was our last one.
Yeah, them birds were roosted in there the night before.
Right. Yep. And she went to the field that was behind us after we were pretty much done with the hunt. Hawks went to go get the side-by-side, and she picked up 2 teal about 150 yards out just off scent. She was starting to pick it up just because of the repetition of how much I was running her out there. And she just was starting to get in that groove of using her nose, and she picked up 2 teal we didn't even shoot. That must have been laying out there. So I thought that was phenomenal. Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's he was telling me about that, and I was like, man, I've never even heard of. I mean, the crazy thing is the dogs alone, right? I mean, what goes into the training and what actually is the dog smelling, and you know, I just found out this the other day, even too, with the dog tracks time by scent. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
I had never heard that before.
And it makes sense the way that he put it, where you leave at a certain time of like day and the dog gets used to that time, and say the mailman comes by at this time, well, that's a new scent right there. And then
they associate scents with like
the time frame of the day. Yeah, exactly. And the way I heard it, and was like the guy was explaining it was just like, man, that I've never even thought of that. And then to think of like find these dogs smelling those birds from the day prior, you know, you wouldn't think that like a dog would be smelling that, or why is my dog running all the way out there? And people are yelling and shocking their dogs. I mean, people have no idea sometimes on how to even run their own dog.
Right. And I was getting so mad. I was like, dude, what the hell is she doing? I'm like, the greenhead that I wanted her to get is right there. And no, she took off. She come right back with that bird. So it was my fault there. I didn't know I've never seen her do it before.
Yeah, it's a wild thing, that's for sure. Well, just the dogs alone. I mean, with your dogs down there, are you guys doing whistle training and all of that?
Yeah, they'll stop on a whistle. A lot of us have gotten to the point of where we stopped using a whistle and do the beeper on the collar in place of that.
Okay.
And the reason for that is when those dogs get out there 4, 5, 6, 700 yards and it's windy, it's raining, they're out there running through knee-deep water, they can't hear that whistle.
That's a solid point, yeah.
They can hear that beeper, though. So if you can get them on that beeper, that's what we have noticed, being able to put more distance on our dogs. And Zach is the one that showed me that. He got Sage doing that when Sage was about a year old, and it's impressive.
No,
and honestly, I think a little bit better of a way to go. Personally, for the way that we use our dogs and the way that we hunt, that's better for us. Not saying that it would be for everybody.
It all depends on location, right? I mean, if you're hunting an area where you don't have that far of a distance from tree line to tree line or whatever it may be, then, you don't have to really worry about that.
Right. I mean,
but that's got to be a hard transition though, between the beeper being a step before the shock and just being sit.
Right.
That's going to be a hard thing to teach them.
Yeah.
Unless you're starting early.
What was that you cut out on me there at the last?
Unless you're starting the dog off young, if they understand that from a young age. But if say you got a dog that, like my personal dog, she knows the beep as, okay, if I don't listen now, then I know it's coming next.
I'm fixing to get burnt.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, to be able to switch that up, I mean, have you guys had to do that at all?
Yeah, and so Voodoo was actually on a whistle whenever I got her. And I watched Zach run Sage on the beeper for a year and decided that was the route that I would like to try to go if it was going to be possible. So what I started doing was I just got her back on the check cord, just like you would start doing heel and sit,
mm-hmm.
and then beeping her and whistling at the same time. And then I would slowly take the whistle away and just do the beep. And she picked up that was the same thing.
I guess it depends on the dog itself too, and the owner. There's so many different ways.
Without a doubt.
They're both beast dogs.
I mean, just people don't get though either. I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, that one dog is not going to be like your last dog, and every dog is going to have their personality, 100%. And you have to understand that you can't teach this dog the same way your last dog was taught, because it's not going to. I mean, not saying it won't work out, but the odds are it won't work out.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they've all got a personality just like us.
Right.
They've got their quirks and what they want to do and what they don't.
Right.
You just gotta. It's all individualized. You can blanket statement as much as you want to, but it's all pretty individualized at the end of it.
100%. What?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fonz.
Real quick though, Hawk, I do want to say one of the coolest things that I think I saw. A lot of it was from that last hunt, but he had sent Voodoo out. Like, remember that teal that was out there? Like, how many yards do you think that was, dude?
She was all the way across that field, wasn't she?
Yeah, completely.
That's probably like 350, 400.
Yeah, so he had her sitting at about 150, about 200. She sat, looked right at him. He casted her back again. She went back, got that bird, and she was right. I mean, she used her nose, you could tell, the way she was going through the weeds, and was on the other side of the field and come back with that bird. It was pretty sweet.
It's wild. She's learned a lot. She's really, really made some leaps and bounds from the last couple of years. I'm excited to see what she's going to bring the next few in her prime.
Now, how old is she?
She just turned 4 in August, so she'll be 5 when next season starts.
Okay.
But she's still got some good time to hunt, and actually, I'm fixing to get Sage from Zach, and we're going to breed them here in about a month.
Oh wow!
So we'll have some pretty good pups, hopefully.
I was saying that pups are completely sold, guarantee it.
What was that, Fonz?
I would say those pups got to be 100% completely sold.
Oh,
I would say that Off of what I've heard, yes. I don't know. There may be a couple of them still floating around at the end of it if somebody wants one.
Those are two good dogs, man. Sage is a badass too.
I'm very excited about this breeding. I think it'll be a really good one.
Question I got for you too is, how was like your guys' migration this year? Because our migration this year seemed like it was very slow and warm all year. How did that play a factor for you guys this year?
So, yeah, it did seem to be a little bit delayed as far as the ducks went. The specs were there right on time.
Really?
When they carried us through December, and after the opening day of the first segment, they carried us through the second segment, or the first segment in November. It was just, I don't really know. I guess there was a whole culmination of things. It was hot. There wasn't a lot of water, no snowpack, and they didn't come until they had to. And that's part of where I think a lot of the problems that everybody in general is having with waterfowling is those birds are learning that they can make a living up there in those conditions. Whenever it gets cold finally.
Yeah.
So they don't have to leave. They haven't imprinted south. They don't know that they don't know anything's down here. So they don't have to leave or they don't want to leave until they have to leave. And when they have to leave, they're ready to go back home pretty quick.
There was
we had some good days there, but the ducks were slow until probably the last third of the season, I'd say.
There was a thing that I heard, actually, now that you say that, it was like lake ducks or Erie ducks or like a different, like, not a breed of ducks, but just a different, like, just mindset that you were just saying, that they know that they can survive up here. You know, you just got to go.
Yeah, a different group of birds.
Yeah, because I think there was a study done on that this year or the year prior that I heard about, where they banded some and they just never left. They found out how to survive. They just never left. Yeah,
there was some, I can't remember exactly which one posted it, but there was some tracker data that came back from one that greenhead that lived in Calgary for the whole winter, and he went between a city lake and the rail yard, and I'm assuming he was going to the rail yard to eat grain and come back.
Which is insane.
I mean, it's crazy that they have evolved to that point of knowing that that's there in the middle of all that hubbub and a busy rail station, that they can go and eat corn and not have to migrate 1,000 miles south.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think they've evolved, or do you think they've been doing this for years and we just haven't had the data to prove it?
I think that it's a little bit of an evolution. I think that the pressure that we've put on these birds makes them not as susceptible to migrate when it gets cold, because they know that they're going to be getting shot at. It's quiet up there whenever all that's going on. They don't have anything to worry about other than finding some water and some food.
Right.
So why go down south and get shot at when we can stay here and make a living? I think that pressure's got a lot to do with it, and I think that those few mild winters we had, a lot of those birds that were born those years, they didn't have to migrate. So they're not, I mean, they haven't imprinted down south, and they don't know. That's my personal opinion. I have no scientific backing on that. That's just what I think is going on.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that, because that's what I said this year. I said the new birds that are being born up there, they have no idea to even migrate south, because it's been so warm up there that they can survive. And there's more than enough food. There's more than enough water. So they don't even know if they don't see mama do it, you know?
Right. And here's something that nobody really talks about with the tracker data that is coming out and, you know, becoming more prevalent and more of a thing. Those birds that they're putting most of those trackers on are already down south.
And they're flying all the way back up here. It's from what I've been seeing.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they really want to figure that out, maybe they should track some of those in the pond in Calgary.
100%. They get a lot of data.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, no kidding, right from the rail yard. That's I don't know. It's such like a science, and I feel like that's why I kind of keep like it's such a passion for me because there is just so much that goes into everything.
Right.
And it's just always a
Yeah, I mean,
mystery, I guess.
there's so many different factors that play into why what is happening is actually happening, and we think we know at the end of the day, but
we don't.
I think we really have no idea.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it all, like you were saying.
Yeah, that's I mean, now for you down there, it's a big thing that I hear all the time too. The old lady at the park's feeding them so they don't have to migrate. The hot water ponds that are going on, they don't have to migrate. Obviously, if there's water, they're not going to move. But
Right.
do you think it's more of that or just the pressure around you in those southern states that are hurting more? What's hurting down south more, the pressure or, the excuses? Because I feel like a lot of the time when things don't go right, everybody's going to use every excuse in the book.
Right. And honestly, I think what it boils down to is getting a winner. Those years we didn't get a winner, we didn't kill just a whole lot of ducks. Whenever it was real wintery this year, we didn't shoot anything but ducks and piles of them. So I think it's a culmination of all of it, honestly. The pressure, and they know that those states are still open. They know that every hole is going to have a gun in it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think weather's got more to do with it than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, for us this year, I mean, hell, I think the last, or maybe even it was during our split, which is New Year's, Canada was still open. There was videos in, I want to say it was Canada, right above the Dakotas, that there was tens of thousands of Canadian geese out there. And, like, they just didn't need to move anywhere. Like, that's why everybody was hurting so bad this year.
Yeah, no sense in going anywhere if you don't have to.
Yeah, it's just, but then my big thing is there's still birds around your area. Put the extra work in and get it done.
Yeah, you can still go get it done. It just takes more drive time and more foot miles, but it's still the same. It's still duck hunting at the end of the day.
Right. In your guys' apprentice program or most outfitters guide program or apprentice programs, do they start off guiding or like not guiding, scouting for you guys? I mean, how do you guys have the time to scout?
What were you going to say? Finish out what you were going to say.
How do you guys have the time to scout? Unless you guys have like
people. Usually what it is somebody's just got to pull out and not go hunting in the morning. We'll all go set the spread and get everything ready to go, and then somebody will be like, all right, I'll see y'all whenever it's time to pick it up, and they'll go get in the truck and go ride around and find them. But yeah, a lot of times those guys they're helping us out. They're helping cut brush, rig decoys, clean stuff up, cleaning birds, helping out around the lodge, just doing the stuff that needs to be done that some of the head guides don't necessarily have time to do on a given day.
Right.
Because I mean, it is a full day. You wake up at 4:30 in the morning or earlier, depending on the situation, and you're not going to bed until 8:39, 9:30 at night. So,
and that's what is crazy. 100%. I mean, it's almost just like any other job wise where everything is not going to go smoothly unless all parts are flowing together. Just because you're not hunting one day, you got to do your part. I mean, there's got to be some guys that are, upset about it. Maybe not your guys' spot, but other outfitters. But it's like,
right. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to go hunting at the end of the day. That's what we all signed up for. But there's the less glamorous side, as Stuart always says. I mean, you got to go cut grass. You got to scout. You got to rig decoys up. You got to rake leaves. You got to do shit to get to go hunting. So, I mean, it's just all part of what has to get done.
Do you guys do any conservation season hunting snow goose?
Yeah, we do a little bit. We're trying to kind of get built up ourselves. We're going to try to run a few hunts next year. There's a really good group of guys that leases out our lodge for their group of hunters. Dixon Brothers Snows, Luke and Jared Dixon. They run a phenomenal snow goose outfit. They've been on. I believe this is the second year they teamed up together, and they kill them. They've really got the snows figured out. It's fun to go hunt with those guys and see how they do it. They're good at the conservation stuff for sure.
Because I heard that's like a whole different, like, just ball game in general. Like, just a whole different. Yeah. I mean, what have you learned off of that, or what have you taken away from the comparison? I guess from the regular season towards conservation season.
Just the amount of time that you have to put in scouting to find the feed that you want to hunt. Those snows start bouncing around a lot that time of year. So, I mean, we didn't have any snows on us at the beginning of conservation season this year. I'll just be honest. They were driving 2 hours north of the lodge every day to scout, to hunt, to do everything. I mean, they're leaving the lodge at 1 in the morning. It's a much longer day, but it can be much more rewarding in the end of it if it does work out.
That's insane to even just think about 1 o'clock in the morning going out scouting.
Yeah, I mean, just
doing what you need to do. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, just doing what you got to do.
That's for sure. What you guys do anything else besides that? I mean, you guys guide for turkey hunts or anything?
We used to guide for turkeys. Dad quit doing that in, I believe, 2007. Now we just kind of do that for ourselves and do the wildlife management thing on various farms around the mid-state here in Tennessee. I've actually started traveling turkey hunting in the last few years, trying to knock some states off my list and all that good stuff. So we kind of enjoy turkey season and deer season a little bit and then get ready to go grind it out for waterfowl.
You know, now bringing that back up too, you said you help out with a lot of the properties around you with management wise in Tennessee. Yeah. What can you kind of break that down? Like what do you do?
Yeah, so basically any kind of wildlife management stuff people want done on their farm, you know, food plots, burning, lane clearing, you know, just general farm management stuff, bush hogging around. Anything they really want done, we'll do timber stand improvements. What else is there? Run trail cameras for them, just whatever it is that they want done on their farm. We'll kind of build them a package and
that's pretty sweet.
Go from there. That's a lot. That's a really cool thing, getting to go around and see some really nice properties around this part of the country. Because there's some really good hunting in this area for whitetail and turkeys. A lot of people don't understand, and it's honestly, it's probably one of the more slept on areas. Not necessarily for turkeys, but for deer hunting, without a doubt.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, do you guys do any of the what was the word for, like, the canopy lighting for like the turkey population? Like they do a lot of, you know, how much light shines through the trees. It talks about like the roost and how many birds like that spot over other spots. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't gotten anything like that. That's a little above my pay grade.
I don't blame you there then. I don't blame you there. There's just, I've been looking at a lot of stuff for us up here. I mean, the turkeys are just starting to come back for us. I mean, any way that I'm able to help them up here. And if Michigan hasn't been scratched off for you yet, you got a spot up here whenever you want to come up and try to knock that off for you.
Yeah. I need to make a run up north and shoot some of those states. I've been pretty much in the southeast, so yeah, need to come see some different country.
Anytime
come hang out with y'all and shoot some turkeys.
Anytime you want, because especially during turkey season, walleye are starting to run. I don't know if you've heard about the Detroit River. It's insane.
Yeah, I've wanted to do the walleye thing as well. I've always heard that they're excellent table fare. So,
have you had them before then or no?
I actually have never tried one.
Wow. Okay, so that opens up a whole new thing for you then.
Yeah, he's missing out big time, dude.
Yeah,
oh man.
Yeah, I need to come see the lakes and go fishing.
Dude, it's awesome, man. And I mean, Kyle hasn't said anything yet, but he kills some fucking Canada geese, man. We'll just say that.
Yeah, that's what I want.
The invite's open, brother. You just got to make the time out of your busy schedule to come up and do it. That's it.
Well, I can definitely make that happen in October. I've got some time then, so
maybe
we'll get together and make a pile.
Maybe we can do something with old Q-Tip and bring him up too, because he was supposed to come up last year with us.
Yeah.
He had the boat ramp tour going on and stuff, so it was just, the schedule and the turkey loads coming out. It was just, a little hectic for him, which I understand.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully this year we can get those guys out too, but maybe we could all make a big collaboration with that this year.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. I'd be about that.
That's for sure. Where for you, your dad started the outfitter or the business. Where do you kind of see it in 5 years with growth wise? Like where do you want to see it at?
Honestly, I just want us to carry on what we're doing. Just keep making people happy and keep going hunting. I don't necessarily think that there needs to be a change. Will there be a change? Probably. But I like the way we're rolling with it right now. Hopefully I can keep that going. I guess that would be in 5 years. Just keep going where we're at. Stay on the same trajectory. Keep growing. Which
honestly is a huge thing that you say it like that, though, because it's just the humbleness of it all. It's not like some crazy thing it's like your clients that you're talking about going from year one and they're still coming back to you. You're obviously doing something right. I mean, you guys
we are very blessed, to say the least.
Right. Do you have any like tips for people trying to like how to start something like you guys have? There's a lot of guys that they start these quote unquote guide services nowadays. I mean, for somebody to get into some like a position where you're at, maybe not your position, but any tips or tricks on the guide life besides get as much sleep as you possibly can when you can?
I would just say weather the storm. There's going to be problems. It's not every day is not hunky dory and you don't just get to go hunting. I mean, there's going to be issues. There's going to be bumps in the road, and there's going to be times when you want to quit, but you can't if you want to make it to this point. I mean, that's what Stewart never did. He had plenty of opportunities to quit, get out, but just keep going, keep trying, and a few lucky breaks along the way will help you out.
I'd say well, me and Alex just had a conversation about like just that peak. I mean, you're there and a lot of people quit right there, but you take that extra step, that half step, and you're good to go. You just can't quit early on anything.
Right. You might have not seen that half step you needed to take and you take it. And now you're over what you wanted to get to, Right.
Yeah. That half step made you fall 3 steps forward, 3 steps more forward. It's
exactly.
Yeah. Alex, you got any more questions or anything?
Yeah, quick. I wanted to ask you, Hawk, are you guys, I know you talked about a little bit at the lodge and we were there when you guys got them snows dropped off, the decoys. Are you guys going to be getting into that side of the game more? Like, I know you guys said you stepped away from it a little bit, but is that something you guys have talked about or no?
Yeah, we're going to try to get back into the conservation stuff a little bit, just not in a huge capacity in any way. We're obviously all beat by that time of the year anyway. So we're going to try to get, a week, 2 weeks of good hunting in just to scratch our itch a little bit and keep hunting, because the snows are so much fun. It's so much fun.
So I just had a buddy contact me not too long ago. It was probably 2-3 days ago, I guess. And he's running outfitter somewhere down, I don't know if it's Arkansas. He always bounced around state to state. And he told me, he's like, man, I'll tell you what, chasing them snows has become my favorite thing to do. And he never thought it in a million years, but just the excitement behind it all. And I was like, man, I got to hear some stories from you, because there's a lot of people that get frustrated very easily on them snows in the spring with how unpredictable they are.
Yeah, yeah, they are very unpredictable, and I'm not even going to try to take any of the credit for that. That's all Luke Dixon and Jared. They grind it out and make it happen. They, I mean, it's incredible, really. I mean, watching 3,000-4,000 birds drop down on your head, and you're just like, well,
Where do I
which one am
aim?
I fixing to shoot at?
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, words really can't describe what's going through your head whenever a big snow goose spin's going down. It's
I'm gonna have to try
it's
that
something
out.
everybody should experience.
It's
At
crazy. I
least
don't
once
know
in
how to
their life.
explain it either. I have no idea. It's so chaotic. You know that you're just sitting there and the chaos is above your head. There's no other way to explain it. You're just I love
Like, you ever gone to a football game and the home team's on defense and it's fourth down and everybody's screaming and hollering and carrying on?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's like. That's what it sounds like over your head.
I mean, that would
it's
be
it's
insane.
nuts. It's awesome.
Well, and that's, I mean, even, not trying to get off the topic of the snow goose, but I was trying to tell my soon-to-be brother-in-law how amazing turkey hunting is, and I can't get him off the dang water in the springtime, and he does not want to get into the turkey woods. But it's like, man, you don't understand when a bird is 15, 20 yards in front of you, gobbling his head off, how crazy that is. Like, you can hear all the farm birds you want, but when you get a big old eastern,
Nothing compares to an eastern.
God, man, I'm telling you. And
Yeah,
you can't.
Turkey hunting just does something different to me. I love it.
I told Trav, the guy that runs the company with me, today, right before we got on the phone, if there was one thing that I had to stick to, it would be turkey season, turkey hunting, I guess. I would give up my waterfowl, even though how much I love it and the passion I had behind it. But there's just something about that gobble in the morning and tricking a bird like that close to you.
It is special. There really isn't anything like it.
It's tough nowadays because these guys got not talking crap about TSS, but the guys that are shooting the birds at 80 yards, granted, if you want to do it, but it ain't for me. I want them birds as close as I possibly can. And
yeah, fooling them and getting to come on. I mean, I'd rather shoot them whenever his beak touched my gun barrel.
I'm with you on that.
Yards.
I'm with you. There was, what was it, 2 years ago, I think it was. I took 7 steps out and picked up my bird after I shot it, and something like that. It was like, man, to trick that bird that close, a big old long beard.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can't. It's the same thing that I guess comparison to that snow goose, feeling that you're saying, a big spin feeling. You just can't even begin to. You don't know where to begin on how to describe it.
Right. Yeah. It's something you've got to experience for yourself.
For sure. What states have you crossed off for turkey?
So I've got obviously Tennessee, Texas, Kentucky, Mississippi, and Alabama right now. I'm going to South Carolina on the 31st to hunt for a couple days. I'm going to try to swing through Georgia on the way back from there. And then I'm probably going to be done for this year, sadly. But looking forward to that. I'm going to hopefully scratch off a couple more states this year.
Like I said, we open up April 20th. I don't know what out of state licenses usually is, but we open up April 20th, and we usually go to the end of May. So if you got some time to kind of take a trip up, let me know.
Yeah, we'll get together on it. Find some time. I'd love to come up there.
I mean, especially just like the different scenery that you're seeing from different states, it's got to be insane. Like Kentucky birds up in the hills and the mountains. I mean, that's got to be nuts.
Oh yeah, it's wild going from hunting one in hardwoods up here at home, hills and hollers, to Mississippi and going down and hunting the pine flats and swampy ground. It's really neat to see how much different they act in different environments, especially just hunting easterns. I mean, I've obviously done the Rio thing in Texas, but the eastern wild turkey is such a neat animal because of the variety of habitats that they actually can make a living in.
The hardiness of them all.
Yes.
They just got that. They got that grit to them. They got that. They got that dog in them, is what they say.
Yeah, they got that dog in them.
That's and like I said, people just don't understand that, man. That with the gobble and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm trying to get Alyx over here and trying to get him a bird this year too. See if we can get, because
I know, I'm just hoping I can draw here in Wisconsin because I'm still non-resident. I still got my Michigan license, so we'll see if I. Yeah, I'm gonna come up there and hunt by you anyway, Kyle. We got to do something together.
No, for sure. Well, what you need to do is just move back. Is what you need to do.
I know. I'm working on it.
But no, you got anything else, Alyx?
No, I'm good. It was nice to talk to you, Hawk. I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope everything's good, man.
Yeah, it's been good. I enjoyed talking to you guys a lot. We'll get together and make something happen on a turkey, or go fishing, or shoot some birds or something sometime here soon.
You let us know, man. We could do it. We could service whatever you want to do.
The invite is always open, man.
Yeah. Y'all just let me know, and we'll make it happen.
Do you?
I do appreciate you. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Do you want to shout out anybody, or shout out you guys, or how can people reach out to you, your social media accounts, or anything before we wrap it up?
Yeah, if you guys want to get with me, just check us out on all the socials at Primm Springs Wildlife. Just want to shout out all the guys, Zach, Logan, John, JB, Jake, Dylan, Dalton, Miss Carrie, Kayla, everybody there at Primm Springs. They're what makes the world go around. So, I mean, we couldn't do it without all them. Ultimately, it's their show too. It's not just all about me or all about Stuart. It's a team effort without a doubt. So we're very blessed to have a good team and great places to go hunting and comfortable beds to sleep in. Ain't that right, Alyx?
Oh, 125%. I still gotta get the freaking label off that mattress because that's what I'm buying.
I've actually got one here at my house. As soon as we get off the phone, I'll find that label and I'll text it to you.
You just snap me a picture, please, because I still haven't bought a mattress yet because I want that.
All right, I'll send it over to you in just a minute.
Well, Hawk, I greatly appreciate your time tonight, man, and it was definitely a pleasure talking to you, getting to meet you, and hopefully we can figure some stuff out for the future, whether you coming up here or me going down there to see what you guys are all about. Have to figure something out, but it was definitely a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, sir. I've enjoyed it a lot. I appreciate y'all having me on once again.
Of course, man.
Y'all take care of yourselves.
Yeah, until next time, everybody. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you.